They got 3, when they take me to the airport, there's 3 New South Wales Australian police there. And they put me in their handcuffs. I'm like, man, what's going on? These guys are like, hey, we can't talk about it. I'm like, dude, you guys got to tell me, man. Like, dude, my heart's like skipping a beat, man. I'm like, what do you guys mean you can't tell me? They're saying, we can't discuss it. We'll let you call your lawyer once we get to Australia. I'm like, oh, man. I said, I'm now doing a life sentence over here. It's over. Man, it was so stressful. Herc. You don't even know.
I already know. It's like you got to take a mean shit.
Dude, yeah. So the best part about it is the captain on the plane, they put me in the back before anyone boards the plane. I'm on a Qantas airline flight, right? A double-decker. They put me on the back, and I'm in the back, and I'm cuffed up. Luckily, I don't have my khakis on. They put me in some blue jeans and a golf T-shirt, right? So I'm sitting in the back, man. I'm cuffed up. The captain comes back. He says, gentlemen, he's talking to the police from New South Wales. He says, we don't allow handcuffs on this plane. You're going to have to take them off. I'm like, oh, thank God. Like, take them off, baby. Take these things off. Like, he says, Mr. Hanson, are you going to behave? I said, I'm going to behave, but please do me one favor, Captain. Can you send me some of those cheese plates and dessert plates from first class? I said, just please, man. I said, I've been incarcerated for the last 6-7 years. I said, please, anything you can do, send it my way. He goes, Mr. Hanson, you got my word.
Oh, man.
17-hour flight, like hour 11, man. I'm just waiting. Like, come on, is this guy going to bring this?
Oh, man.
Sure enough, he shows up with the cheese plate. And I'm like, oh, yeah, baby.
Yeah,
first
class.
Then I asked the officer, I said, can I have a glass of wine? He said, absolutely not. Like, I was like, yeah, man. I was like, man, if I could get some cheese and wine right now. Like, I was like, this is going to be awesome. He didn't allow it.
Yeah.
I said, can I get a cappuccino? He goes, we'll allow a cappuccino. And so he let me have a cappuccino with my cheese. It wasn't the same, right? A cappuccino and cheese just don't go. So I was like, oh, at least I got that going for me. I got
How long was that flight?
17 hours.
Damn.
Yeah. 17 hours, man. And the whole time I'm up, I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
You know, I'm watching that TV. I haven't seen it.
Plus you're free. You're like,
I'm free. I'm watching.
Free.
I'm watching like Netflix shit I've never seen. Remember, I got arrested. Then Netflix got big.
Yeah.
And the Hulu, they got everything on there. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to sleep. Right? Like, I'm looking at all these females from Australia. I'm like, wow, look at that. She's just gorgeous. You know, I've been looking at Dick for the last 7 years, man. And I'm looking at these girls. Oh my gosh, she's beautiful. She was probably like a 4, you know? Yeah. But she was beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, a 3 is hot.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
God, what I would do to her. You know, that's what you're thinking. Like, you haven't been around a female.
Yeah.
And you smell her, right?
Yeah.
Oh God, she smells good, right?
Like an animal.
We're like animals. It's like I tell people, it felt like I was at the Spearmint Rhino, right? Smelling that girl was like I was smelling a stripper, and she was fully clothed.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, this is stressful, but at least I got my cheese and cappuccino right. I got that going for me. They give me some bombs, like some Australian candy, right? I'm like, oh, this is great, right? This is awesome, right? So I get there, and I finally get to this prison in Australia, and they put me in this cage, man. It's all, literally, every one of them is single cells. I'm like, man, where am I? Like, these guys are gangsters, right? We got Assyrian kings, we got nomad biking gangs, we got Hell's Angels, we got Mongols, we have rapists, we have terrorists, and we're just all in these big cells, like 11 by 30, and they locked me up. I'm like, man, I got to call my lawyer. But they were cool. They're like, okay, we'll let you call you a lawyer. Like, how do I pay for it? They're like, free phone calls. You don't pay here. Like, oh, this is cool. I like this prison, right? Free phone calls. So I get on. I call my lawyer. I said, what is going on? He finally answers. He says, you just won the lotto in life. I said, what do you mean? He goes, you won the lotto in life. He says, do you remember how I told you you might have a chance? I said, yeah. He goes, do you remember that crooked lawyer that got you indicted? I said, yeah. He says, well, are you willing to testify that he was crooked and he gave you bad legal advice? I said, yeah. Like, dude, remember, I told you, Herc, I was pacing in myself 6 years before, right?
Yeah.
I was mad. I was hot. And in gambling, we call it a get back, right? What's a get back? You bet on something and you lose, right?
Yeah.
And I bet my life on this guy. I trusted him, right? I was trusting he was going to get me that money back so I could pay the cartel back.
Yeah.
I used everything, and I was fighting like the Trojan I am, right? And I finally got beat up. I got knocked out by Mike Tyson. I'm now doing 21 years, and I'm like, man, I'm done. No one's helping me out. No one's putting money on my books. So you're telling me that if I go testify against the guy that got me indicted, the guy that told me to go speak to authorities without him there, I could tell the judge that that was all due to my lawyer and that he's the one that put this story in my mouth to tell the authorities, and I might receive time off. I said, let's go, let's run it, right? I want that get back. And that's what I did, Herc. Now, is that cooperating? I don't think so. It's someone that got me in trouble, got me indicted, and I'm now getting to return the favor. So let's leave it up to the audience. You know, at the end of the day, I was getting my money. I was getting my get back.
Yeah.
And they found that he was guilty of being corrupt. The judge in Australia wrote my judge, it was actually the prosecution in Australia, wrote my judge in the U.S. saying, we believe that Mr. Hanson had an ineffective counsel, and his attorney misrepresented him and was corrupt, and we were able to prove he was corrupt.
Yeah.
And guess what? I'm stuck now in Australia, and I don't know what's going to happen. I'm like, man, let's just finish up the time here, right? These people, I got a huge cell. I'm living in a studio apartment. I'm cooking. I got a little George Foreman grill.
Oh, she got Foreman grill there?
I got a Rebel, which is like a hot for your coffee. I got my own shower. Every day I get breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and we're talking good food, man. You don't pay for anything. Commissary, they give you a $40 spend limit for free every week. Every week, man.
Damn.
The people are amazing. My mate from the Nomads was next to me. He was giving me $100 gift bags just of goodies, protein, tuna. I was like, man, I want to stay here, right? COVID hits, right? Yeah. COVID hits, right? So COVID hits, so okay, I'm going to get to stay here. Like, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm in that prison for 6 months. I'm like, I'm telling my lawyer, just keep me here, man. This place is awesome. Dude, it was awesome.
Yeah.
I felt like I was at the Ritz compared to the U.S. prison. And I'm telling these guys in Australia, and they're like, nah, they don't believe me. I'm like, mate, they're like, oh, those prisons in the U.S. look good. I said, you don't even know. There's nothing good about a U.S. prison. I said, you guys this is a country club.
Wow.
We're working out every day.
That's a regular prison.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, they got a TV with 80 channels. I'm watching movies every night. They even have soft porn on these things.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my
dude,
God, that's crazy.
I was in that bed.
What?
I was just like, this is me right here. Baby. If I had a cell phone, I could be the biggest boss there is. Right?
Wow.
I was thinking to myself,
that's how they're living over there.
They're living great. And I talked to people. You're going to meet Roger Reeves, who also went to Australian prison. He worked for Pablo Escobar, and him and I we spoke for the first time, and he's like, man. He'll tell you, he's like, it was like an apartment. He says, I was cooking every night.
Cooking like that,
every night. He had his own kitchenette.
Oh my God.
So that was it, man. And they finally said, the U.S. Marshals, 4 a.m. this time, come knocking at my door again. This time it's Australia flying me to, I forget where they flew me. I think they flew me to like Melbourne, right? From Sydney. And the U.S. Marshals are waiting, 6 of them. I've never felt this big of a boss in my whole life. They had 6 U.S. Marshals and a G6 to pick me up. Private jet.
Damn.
Because the airport was closed. You got to remember COVID. You couldn't fly in.
Shut down. That's right. Yeah.
U.S. was saying, hey, we need him back in the U.S. prison. He does not belong there. It's a U.S. case. He needs to be back. I'm like, man, keep me here.
Yeah, you're living it up over there, man.
Like, dude. Yeah, the police were so nice to me, man. The people were so respectful. The guards are like, Mr. Hanson, they call you by your last name. They're what would you like for breakfast?
No way.
They talk to everyone with respect. They ask you what kind of bread, what kind of milk. Do you want 2%? Do you want whole?
No way. Come on, man.
Dude, I swear, you ask anybody in Australian prison,
the hell?
they call you by your last name.
Damn.
They ask you what type of bread. You get a whole loaf of bread every day. A loaf. They give you jelly, Mr. Hanson.
Oh,
dude,
my
it's
God,
insane.
dude,
they got a little trolley that they push.
What?
And they have
like a hotel trolley.
Dude, like different types of cereal. They open up your door.
Oh,
dude, it's insane.
Crazy.
It's the most insane thing. I was like, man, is this special treatment?
They treat you like a human being.
They treat you like a human. And that's what I tell people. I'm like, man, people get treated in other countries way better than the U.S. People don't understand how bad these prison systems are.
Yeah, they call you inmate or convict over here.
That's right. They call you convict and they call you piece of shit, right? They make you spread your cheeks. And they don't do that in Australia. You're not spreading no cheeks.
What?
Yeah, oh yeah. The Muslims stopped that.
Wow.
Oh,
yeah, they're spreading cheeks over here.
We are not spreading cheeks.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Damn, I didn't know that,
yeah,
man.
you have to understand,
Wow.
if I could have done the rest of my bid there, I would, right?
Damn. That's crazy, man. I never knew that.
No.
I never knew that because you're getting spoiled milk. You're not
we
getting
get
no
that
good
little muffin, right?
Yeah,
That's
stale.
Just stale.
Yep.
It's a piece of bread, actually,
Yeah,
not a muffin.
yeah, with some sprinkle a little cinnamon on it.
Yeah, cinnamon. And if we're lucky, we'll get a banana, right? Yeah, if we're lucky.
Usually it's an old apple.
Yeah, old apple.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to leave, but I finally left. And these marshals were I had like bags of coffee that I was trying to bring on the plane from Australia, like Nestle 43. It's just Australia brand.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, come on, man, let me just bring this over. Like, it's just coffee. Like, nope, only your legal work. I'm like, man, I'm like trying to sneak some coffee in the legal work. Nope, they're throwing it out. I was bummed, right? And I'm thinking, okay, well, they got to at least let me, I'm on a G6, it's 6 U.S. Marshals. They're going to at least let me sit down and be normal, right? No, handcuffed.
Yeah, mess around.
My feet.
God.
Dude, I felt like Chapo. I was on there, and I'm looking around. I'm like, this is crazy. You got 3 of them sleeping, 3 of them awake, and they're switching turns because we had to stop in Hawaii. And then from Hawaii, we had to fill up because the G6 doesn't make it that far. Yeah. From Hawaii, we go to the
long
U.S.
flight.
Yeah, long flight. And Herc, I'm not going to lie, man. I'm stressing because we don't know what's going to happen, right? I'm calling my lawyer in the U.S. He goes, we don't know what's going to happen. It's all up to the judge, brother. He says, the judge say, it's not our matter. We don't care about it. It's not a U.S. matter, right? Just keep doing your 21 years. So you got to remember, this was in 2020, right? And for 2 years, I'm stressed, and I'm calling my lawyer every day, Herc. I'm like, what's going on with this, man? You told me that the prosecution's going to write a letter to recommend I had a bad attorney, that we're going to get some time off maybe. What's going on? He says, man, we're waiting. Now the prosecutor on my case is no longer in the bureau, no longer under the United States government. He's private practice now. I'm like, man, like, how's this going to work out? He's like, he's recommended whatever Australia recommends that he's going to go with. So I'm like, okay, well, let's get it in front of the judge. But I had a bad judge, right? I was like, okay, I'm nervous about this judge. He did not like me. He went over what I was supposed to get. So I was stressing. I'm not going to lie, I was stressing. But the whole time in prison, Herc, I was doing well, right? I was behaving. I was earning my master's degree, and I had just finished my master's degree in 2020. I think it was the end of 2020. I finished my MBA at the California Coast University. And I'm like, I told my attorney, hey, here's my diploma. I just got my MBA. I graduated in honors. No one has ever done that in the Colorado federal prison, ever. I'm telling them. I was like, use this with your bargaining power. So if they finally get the call to go see the judge, they present it. They said, we got this letter from Australia saying he had ineffective counsel. He had a crooked lawyer, a dodgy lawyer, they call it in Australia. And the judge says, well, how's Mr. Hanson doing in prison? And then that's when my lawyer slaps down the diploma, right? Honors, an MBA, honors. He's like, Mr. Hanson just earned his degree. It's never been done at this prison. And the judge is like, wow, like, that's pretty special.
Yeah, rehabilitation.
Rehabilitation. And that's what President Trump wants, right?
Yeah.
He wants us to rehabilitate under this First Step Act. So I knew I had that First Step Act kicked in now. I'm thinking, okay, what's going to happen? I know I'm earning credit for the First Step Act. I just got my master's degree. I know that's going to count. So that's what happened, Herc. The judge ended up taking the recommendation of 8 years off my sentence. And like I said, you call it ratting, you call it playing checkers, or you call it playing chess. I was playing chess. No one on that paperwork has been arrested. They were arrested the same day I was arrested. I waited for all of them to plead out of respect. Even though they introduced me to the federal government, the FBI, I still waited. None of those people have done time on that paperwork. Andrew McManus walked. Sean Carolyn walked. Craig Hauser walked. Rafa, dead. Mexican Hugo, how many Mexican Hugos are there? You know what I mean? So we just got to clear the air. And it's up to the audience to decide. But at the end of the day, I ain't no sucker. I went to USC. I'm a businessman. And I've never said I'm some gangster, right? I'm a businessman. And at the end of the day, I want to get home to my family as soon as possible and keep it safe. If I would have told on the cartel, if I would have told on the Italian, I would be dead.
Hey man, that's laid out pretty well for these guys who want to be investigative journalists to do their homework, and I'm glad we cleared the air. And hey, leave a comment. Let's handle it in the comments, you know. And,
Yeah, I'll respond.
Yeah, and it's all laid out for you guys. So there you have it, fresh out. We keep it raw, real, and uncut. We don't hold back. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, represent. Owen Hanson, California Kid. You know how we do it over here.